Hello, everyone, and welcome live in umbraCoffee episode 197. 3 to go to the 200.
Damn, we need to start planning something, Marcin. We discussed a couple of weeks ago some crazy ideas, but I think time's got away from us a little bit.
Yeah, but maybe it's also a good opportunity to ask you, people, what you would like to see on the episode 200. Maybe you can share some ideas with us and boost our creativity to the highest level. But yeah, welcome in another great Umbraco week, packed with a lot of things happening as usual. But I wanted to start from something unusual then. I don't know, Callum, if you've seen this one. Umbraco shipped some gifts, and this gift landed in Lee's house, and it's unusual gift sent by Umbraco in the Kim style, I would say. So I don't know what was the reason of this gift to be sent, but it looks interesting, and Umbraco is not stopping at
and a very interesting use.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, teasers everywhere. Maybe Lee will share some more behind the scenes and what's happening if he is still alive after this this session.
He's not been on Twitter much actually in the past few weeks. Maybe.
No, he released new release this week, so maybe he was sharpening this release and planning to make it.
I want to see like a whole series of photos with that axe. Doing the cooking, or it'd be good fun.
Arnold shared a nice comment that he wants to see actual coffee being made here.
Do that.
Maybe we should stop talking about technology in Umbraco then, and just to have some
Umbraco 200 entirely about coffee. Good idea.
We need to get Bjarke and Elitsa to bake some cakes for that then.
Yes.
Cool. Umbraco Oktoberfest and Hacktoberfest is going. Callum, you've been streaming this week, and again I missed it. But I saw some clips.
I tried.
Yeah, I saw some clips.
I was supposed to do Tuesday. Laptop died, so it was Wednesday, and then on the Wednesday stream, the audio was really bad, like almost unbearable for some people. So a few people tuned in, thank you, but I'm going to try and fix it for next week and do something.
That just proves that streamers' lives are not that easy as it looks like.
No, we discussed this last week, didn't we? How all these Twitch creators and their earnings got leaked, and you realise that actually these people with hundreds of thousands of subs don't earn that much money, and there's people who earn a lot of money as well. It's probably quite a tough job, and they stream. Some of these people stream for an hour, 2 hours every night. Every single
hour is just a small amount. I saw some streamers who are streaming for 16 hours per day, and some of these streams requires preparations. So I got a lot of respect to streamers' jobs, to be honest, and I literally see it as a job right now, and I admire a lot of people who are doing. Of course, it depends from the quality and the type of the streamer, but still, it's a lot of efforts behind the scenes which are not obvious for normal people. But your efforts and your plan for the stream was also highlighted on Umbraco's blog, and there is a series called Hacktoberfest Highlights, a really interesting series on Umbraco blog, highlighting some of the interesting ideas from the community, from the HQ, from everyone who is involved, and your idea of Twitch streams was mentioned here last Friday, and I believe you are going to have another try on the next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, so Tuesday, 12 p.m. UK time, I'm going to do another one. We didn't this week manage to finish my pull request, so I might finish that one off. But I've also got a few non-Umbraco, non.NET things that have been bugging me, JavaScript things maybe that I might have to go at. We did code spaces this week. I might try and do code spaces again next week. It was quite good fun.
Nice. Yeah, I mentioned HQ because HQ is also arranging some of the activities around Hacktoberfest, and it's called Lunchtime Jam Sessions, and it's happening on Thursdays at 12 UK, so 13 Central European time, on Discord. And yesterday, Paul Seal was streaming his journey to PR with Umbraco, and I believe there's a more planned session like that, and it's every Thursday for 4 Thursdays. A lot of opportunities to dive in and see how it can be done, and then maybe inspire to contribute as well. And I mentioned it this week for some of the team members in our team, that month is a month. It's not just the first week what crossed all the opportunities to contribute. I have a pleasure to contribute to Hacktoberfest a couple of years back on the last day, and I really made couple helpful pull requests, not just to make them, but it doesn't need to be a new application, new package, new library, rebuild or new CMS engine, etc. But it can be just a small contribution, typo fixes, documentation help. A lot of opportunities still ongoing
this week, like I said on my stream, we did code spaces and found something that just needed to be tweaked in the settings to make it work properly. One line code change, so I've contributed that. And actually, had I not done the stream, I would never have probably explored all of those things anyway. I never tried those. So it doesn't need to be, as you say, the most groundbreaking of changes, as long as it's kind of moving the project forward, making things better.
Yeah, plus I saw, even I shared yesterday a tweet that I would love to see some PRs to packages which we are maintaining, and I will translate it to the human language. We don't have time to maintain, so it would be ideal to have people help in some of them, and I believe that there is more and more of this kind of small job items, first time contributions, first time opportunities to really help, because it's all about helping. It's not about bragging and proving that we are amazing, because we are all coders. We all make the same mistakes. So yeah, if anyone is on the other side and have time and efforts and energy to contribute, I believe just let us know, let Umbraco know. There is a lot of tailored and work ready to be picked up. Yeah, that's still we're in the middle. We just crossed the middle of the month, so
we say this all the time, but where is this all going? It was Hacktoberfest.
I'm deadline.
It feels like yesterday.
I'm purely deadline driven, to be honest. So I will leave it for the last week to be probably. But yeah,
am I right? A few years back, you got. Did you get stung by not getting any merch? Did you? Was that you?
Yes, that was me.
There's an allocation of merch. I think it's about 50,000 contributors, and sometimes that can sell out like in October. So
yeah, but last year I submitted some pull requests on final call, and I got some merch. So maybe they are improving over the years, but it's not just for merch. Umbraco product update shared this week by Runa, highlighting some of the releases which we've already discussed, such as 8.17 and some other upgrades released this week. And probably something to be mentioned, patch releases for Umbraco 9 and Forms and Deploys. They were released this week. Some small improvements, some Hacktoberfest contributions already, and it's interesting that so many of them were already merged and released. And I was not following these patches and some features upgrades, but it's on schedule, and again packed and released and fully summarized by Runa here in this blog post. Something else what I wanted to highlight is Umbraco 9 being default now on Umbraco Cloud projects. I don't know if it was changed this week or previously, but now every new project on Umbraco Cloud is going to be Umbraco v9.
It was when Umbraco 9 came out that it became the default. And,
and
there's a checkbox to say I want v8, but you feel a bit dirty clicking it. And I can't remember the exact wording on it. It was like, I know I want Umbraco 8 instead. And it makes you feel like a bit of a traitor.
Okay.
You can still spin up both sites. You can still technically host v7 sites, and they just can't create new projects.
Interesting. But yeah, there are some also articles and helpful materials about changes and what is needed to be changed there to make it work with the new Umbraco, and also a nice piece of documentation on migrating Umbraco 8 cloud projects to Umbraco 9, with some highlights on how to migrate content, how to migrate files, and custom code. So yeah, again, I think this is addressing most of the questions, not only cloud related, but generally Umbraco related. So what is needed to migrate projects from 8 to 9? And yeah, glad to see it on the
This was one
official
of the big things
documentation.
I was going to ask about cloud, because of course the repo structure is completely different.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining, as it's been described, it's more of a migration. So you create another environment with a clean, empty repo, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting, and you Callum started some threads about working on cloud more. Maybe if let's say you want to be operating system independent, as one of the ways, right? To maybe be independent from that. So interesting, because I'm not running right now any active projects on cloud, but it seems all the infrastructure changes which we were discussing and Tim was highlighting, everything is going to the direction where we can really treat Umbraco as a complete infrastructure being extracted from the machines where we are working on. So interesting concept.
Exactly. And so yesterday we deployed our first v9 site just to a VM actually, and so many learnings in that as well. And in reality, running a .NET Core, .NET 5 site in IIS in the kind of way you would normally have done it, it's a real pain now. Like it's really odd. Whereas I'd love to be able to just use our CI pipeline to deploy to an Azure web app, and it handles it. And the same with the Umbraco Cloud, it just handles it. There's a lot to be said for those kind of flows and setups now. So we're going to be looking. We don't do that much with VMs and kind of servers really anymore. Most of it's cloud-based stuff. But yeah, this is going to make me really push quite hard, I think, for managed services now.
Nice. Share your learnings, of course, with everyone as well. But one thing what I spotted as well was a tweet reply from Bjarke about v10 versions support. Jeffrey shared the information that there is an option right now to report package compatibility with v10 already. And Bjarke replied that nightly builds for v10 will be soon available. So lots of PRs from Hacktoberfest has breaking changes, and there is a reasonable move of pointing them towards v10 already.
I think it's cool that we've got that landmark, that point where we know we can make breaking changes, because Hacktoberfest gone past, or just generally, you'd make a PR and it's kind of this might be a bit of a breaking change. You go. It just sits there for ages, and eventually probably gets rejected or gets forgotten about. Whereas here we can, it's going to be one every 6 months. We can actively work towards that and chase things up and get them. And if we're going to have nightlies literally only a few weeks after, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's interesting, and also it relates to some topics being raised, which I didn't collect on the list, about certification and changes around the process there. That it's not longer depending on major versions of Umbraco as it was before, but more time related. What also unlocks the ability to easily release new major version of Umbraco without being it's hard to say it's scared, but related to trainings programs and stuff like that. So we no longer need to be scared about major versions, and Umbraco as well looks like it treats it as a really major change which has breaking changes inside, and that's all what we need to know. Interesting and exciting as well, because we were always excited about these major versions, and now it seems like it will be just a major version, which is always awesome as well.
Something yesterday, we had our London meetup, and Dean asked me a great question, which was, I've obviously done all of the conference circuits, and I try and talk about Umbraco as much as I possibly can. And he said, "Oh, you're gonna now v9's out, you've got loads of new content to talk about." And I said, "Well, yeah, kind of. But all of the kind of Umbraco content, what's changed in Umbraco, that's all being covered. And actually, I think those kinds of talks going forward are gonna really, they're not that important. HQ can do those, and the community don't need to worry. The thing that it unlocks now is the ability for us to talk about all the new .NET stuff and all the all the new other things. Because really, Umbraco's it's a pretty thin layer between that and just standard like MVC and standard .NET web development, which is really, really nice. So we can start, exploring far more interesting topics, broader topics beyond Umbraco. And when these majors come out, okay, there'll be some breaking API changes, maybe a couple of new features, but there's not going to be like a mass
revolution type of
It's not. If you're running v9 or v10, it's not going to matter hugely. That's going to be pretty.
I dived into a couple of discussions, ground discussions like that, and Umbraco, no matter what, is just a CMS. Still, the best CMS for editors and best CMS, in my opinion, to extend from the .NET developers' perspective. But it's still just a CMS. So I still get the point that we are all, and people are excited how and what has changed. But as developers, we will find a way. We will find a new way of doing things like maybe which we've done before. And I think that the problem which I spotted is like people are still overcomplicating stuff because they have bad experiences from .NET experiences or other CMS's experience, or maybe they have the easiest paths of installing themes in WordPress and they want the same in Umbraco. And that's the challenge to probably face, and I see Umbraco is doing a lot of movements to address this from the DXT perspective, Umbraco marketing perspective. So more of that upcoming, and that's where probably Umbraco can focus and help us all and people to understand for what each Umbraco product can be used or should be used, because that's what I spotted recently. Interesting and exciting stuff. And again, if Umbraco will focus on building better core for products, we will all benefit from that.
Definitely.
But yeah, core is core, and maybe we can jump into the packages, because packages are essential extension points of the Umbraco CMS ecosystem. And let's start from Kevin and his using forms finally being released for Umbraco 9. We were already discussing it. Kevin was demoing Umbraco Forms package. Now is official. Everyone can check it out, download it, and if you have using complete, you can push and pull forms from the navigation and menu context. So that's exciting for every project heavily relying on Umbraco Forms. Great stuff to be definitely checked. Another big release and proof that Lee is alive. And besides the comment on YouTube here is a release of ContentMan, new release with multi-targeting of Umbraco v9 and 8.17. Probably we no longer need to describe what ContentMan can do because we won't have that enough time on YouTube to describe what it can do. But yeah, check it out. A new release is there.
I'm pretty sure this release is the multi-targeting thing, and it wasn't multi-targeted before that. So this is a kind of brand new decision by Lee to go, okay, I'm going to make that work with latest 8 and 9, which is I don't know. I think a lot of people made the decision about whether they were going to multi-target up front when they started migrating. I don't know of many people who've changed that decision halfway through the process. Be interested to know.
And now it's a first beta.
Yeah, first beta.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure Lee will share some of the findings and challenges on the way, or maybe on the next series of the podcasts about the packages migrations. So yeah, let's see that. Next package is something interesting what I found in the Umbraco sphere, because it's a new version, an updated version of Umbraco dependency injection package. So something shared by Michael. And there was a package ready to be installed for Umbraco v8 versions, and now it's for v9, addressing the way how injected services can be used across the code bases based on some even attributes, decorating some of the classes.
That's a very different approach, the attribute-based registration. I'm not sure how much I like that, but
I would need to check. Yeah, still, I'm kind of fan of native or the most close to native implementations to the platform itself. So it's different, but I believe that there was some use case or need to have it like that. And yeah, I was not aware that something like that existed for V8, and now it's for V9. And thanks to that, we can all check it out and maybe explore more what it can do, and if we can benefit from that. So interesting concept, and maybe Michael watches us, or someone knows Michael and can reach him to describe more about it. I would love to really
It's
learn
probably
more.
quite valuable if you're doing like a plugin-based architecture where things need to be able to kind of register themselves without having
Maybe.
too many dependencies on like the DI layer, for example. But then the whole value of DI is that you can swap things in and out, and I don't know how that would work with the attributes. So interesting.
Yeah, but all of the containers has some ability to register from the external sources. So yeah, we were doing it with Ninject. We were doing it with the light inject, and so yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, I'm really intrigued, and I will definitely explore more about it. Next one is Paul Seal's update to his clean starter kit. It was released with the first beta and then the beta version number 2, and Paul fixed some issues after tests on Linux. And I think it's a great stuff, because I saw a lot of questions about what has changed when it comes to packaging for Windows, Linux, and we were also observing the problems with some paths and changes around that. And I believe that lessons learned by creators like Paul and people who are maintaining a couple of the packages which are now released for V9 will be essential for all of the new creations and packages which will be migrated to the new version of Umbraco.
Yeah.
And Callum, did you face already some issues with Linux? Did you try some Linux
No,
machines?
so again, I did the code spaces thing on Wednesday, and that's all Linux, and that worked pretty well. That's running the back office, and I know Warren had done some work previously to make sure that was a smooth experience, and it was. We've not ran anything cross-platform just yet. However, we have decided internally on some rules that we're going to follow, so that when it comes to doing cross-platform stuff, we shouldn't have so many issues. For example, casing of paths. We've agreed a consistent approach. We're going to do like a kebab case type thing everywhere. We've also discussed like naming conventions and other things that we're going to hopefully use, which should just make our lives a bit easier. Kind of trying early on to define some best practices and considering the implications of those. We were also looking this week at, what was it Jason was looking at? Is it Razor compiled library? So you can compile your Razor to a DLL and ship that around. We've talked a lot about view components and how they fit into our setup and architecture. And so yeah, we're just kind of reviewing all of the new .NET Core stuff really that it unlocks, and seeing if we want to apply it and how, and then making some rules around it as we go.
And this is an interesting content to be shared across the presentations, I think, because we will all learn that lessons. So yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, keep us informed if you will find any interesting gotchas for package creators, because all of the package creators right now are even if they are not yet, they are seeing V9 on the horizon, and they will think about migrating now. Cool. Next one is as a new package, new property editor from the umbraCoffee team from Poland. So now it's a star rating property editor available to be used in the back office with some half stars and pretty nice configuration on the data type. So yeah, the team is keeping packages coming from them. Really good. And the further one is uCAPTCHA from Aaron. And Callum, I've seen you've been struggling to find some CAPTCHA on it was on Uno installation.
Oh, it was on, yeah, but it's just me being stupid. My Google foo failed me. I googled for CAPTCHA settings from Umbraco Uno, and nothing came up, and we've been getting spammed. But there is a setting there, and Arnold pointed out.
But this is good. This is the setting to allow to expose and enable us to use providers like CAPTCHA or reCAPTCHA for the forms fields. Really cool, really good. Ported to Umbraco v9 extremely quickly, I would say, because I saw a tweet that Aaron is working on or thinking about migrating this package to v9, and then a couple hours later the package was released. Yeah, well done here. And the next one is a mystery fallback text property provider.
So this we've actually spoken about this before, but this might be the official release and two, the v9 release. I'm not sure. This is Dean's company, and I know Harry Gordon's been working on this package as well. So
yeah, but I've mentioned it because I think it also proves how descriptions and the screenshots are helping for even us to decide if package is interesting or not interesting, and it relates to, for example, the Umbraco team who recorded a video describing what package can do, etc. And then you don't need to even install it to decide if it's interesting or not interesting for you. So I plan to also spend some time to checking if packages which we've created as a team are having essential information exposed, because time is really precious effort.
And the other day as well, how now the NuGet UI on NuGet.org, it shows a README first. A lot of packages don't ship a README, or they'll ship a single line, and it looks so empty. So definitely, it's time to look at how you're marketing your packages.
Yeah, one of my hackathon tasks for this month was to work on README files on our projects. What it should contain, how we can save some time of not jumping between the repository and documentation, stuff like that. It's important. It's really important stuff, and time is precious.
A template that we apply as a README thing as well. Key information, key links. Keep it short and sweet as well. Like there's also too much information in README.
Exactly. Cool. And last but not least on this list is a little tease about the new upcoming package, which is umbracosite audit package from Patrick, and with a lot of new checks and extension points. Looks really, really interesting.
It looks like health checks on steroids, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Site and still, we were talking about the dashboard, some configuration information being exposed, maybe in Umbraco back office. And I when I saw this tweet, I thought, oh, maybe we don't need to expose it if we will have an audit package or health checks, for example, for it, right? So let's say, I don't know, verify if we are on the correct, we have a correct setup for correct environment. If we are correctly load balancing on replica, for example. Yeah. That's really, really exciting stuff, and I'm really looking forward to what Patrick will bring with this package. So yeah, fingers crossed for having having an effective Hacktoberfest here and and releasing it pretty soon. That's from the packages side. What I wanted to also mention, but I don't have link open for it, it's some new stuff in Umbraco roadmaps. And one thing which excites me the most is history cleanup for Umbraco right now being worked on.
This was previously, because this is Soren's package, isn't it? What's it called?
Unversion.
Unversion. So this is bringing unversion to core, and it was definitely something that was on the roadmap for V8 maybe a year ago, and then I think V9 got prioritized, and the other things got prioritized. So it's great to see that coming. And when you think about it, it's totally logical. We've got Nexu or equivalent now in core, and that's great. And it's something a lot of people were installing, was pretty fundamental. Unversion, it saved us time and time again as well when we've used to wipe some stuff out. It's not something we'd use every day, but if Umbraco can just take care of itself, that's amazing.
Yeah, still, it reminded me about some pretty cool times when we had some dashboards, maintenance dashboards that allowed us to clean up all the versions, or to clean up unused media, things like that. And it matters more and more right now in especially growing projects in time. And yeah, having it closer to core or in the core is definitely helping us all and for us as a whole community, because we will definitely see more or less complaints about the Umbraco itself, because it will be clearer and maybe more optimized for the long-term projects. Another now stuff was tree transfers from cloud and deploy in between of environments. New on the next roadmap was improved package metrics, something what will definitely excite package creators and owners. And a new stuff in the later roadmap is editable entries in Umbraco Forms and localization for Umbraco Forms in the Umbraco back office. So it's some really good changes in the roadmap, and Umbraco keeps them coming really effectively. The next one on the list is an RFC, a new RFC, what brought a lot of discussions already. What RFC is created for. This is the one for defining the back office extension APIs. And I don't know, Callum, how deep you've dived into the discussion, or not yet?
Because I've not read this RFC, but a Google Doc was shared around about a week ago.
Yes.
With MVPs. I had a good look at that. It's something I think I've got views on this, having built packages and done some quite interesting, should we say, hacks on the UI in the past to make it work. But at the same time, I don't know enough about JavaScript or anything to really say how it should be. And I'm probably just going to take whatever gets given to me when we've got the new web components based back office at some point. So I'm going to keep an eye on the conversation. If I feel I can jump in, I will.
Yeah, I saw a couple interesting feedback already about let's say registering extensions from the C# code, what was brought by Dan Diplo, because I think we are used to some of the concepts, and we need to learn the new concepts, and we know how powerful JavaScript can be, and how the web standards and web components can again change the way how projects are structured. And now I see that the discussion is really going into many directions, and many key points are already raised. But more standards and clearer approaches is definitely something what will help us to also get used to the standardized ways and not rely on specific, maybe custom paths of doing things, which might not be always the best ones, right?
I feel like this is where we really need decent input from JavaScript experts, front-end dev experts, because whilst Dan's absolutely right, like you can do a lot of stuff in C# now with Umbraco, including basically everything the package manifest can do, you can do in C#. But it, as you say, it may not be the best way. It may not be the way that's most accessible for people. Mm-hmm. So, and I know that back-end devs have a tendency to say, yeah, we want everything to be C#, hence Blazor, hence hence all of that.
all of the frameworks basically.
So I do personally feel like the back office should be firmly grounded in JavaScript, and sure, give us some nice ways to do it in C# if you want to. But I think let's try and send this to some front end devs on your team or something. Get there. It'd be really good to
exactly.
Make this as
and to be clear, that's for what RFCs were created for, and the more comments and the more discussions it will bring, it's the better for the output of these discussions. So as you've said, I think call to action is to grab some coffee, tea, or whatever else, and read through it, share with the people who can have a fresh view on these concepts, and then it's all in the hands of the great back office team who started this first RFC and HQ and community to implement it. So feel free to pass it to your colleagues, and of course, as usual, links will be down below the video, and you can just copy and paste it from there. Cool. That's about the releases and discussions. Events. And Callum, I know that the event sections excites you a lot this week as well, but we'll get to it. But let's start from some upcoming and the closest event on the roadmap. It's a virtual meetup in the Glasgow community, focused about the Umbraco 9. Emma, Nurhak, and Carol will be talking about everything related with v9 and learning about it. So it's next Tuesday, and it's a virtual online event, so everyone can join. the next event really close in time is Umbraco DK Festival, and there is a really nice summary and introduction to the festival on umbraco.com website now, and it's November 11th. You are speaking there, Callum, right?
I will be there, indeed. I will be there. Looking forward to that. There's some good. I mean, I know a lot of it's in Danish, so I'll just have to enjoy the pizza and the drinks, I think. But definitely, like Jeffrey Shoemaker's going to be there. I think Carol's coming, or maybe she's doing a session virtually. I'm not sure, but definitely there's going to be a few people from outside of Denmark coming as well. So it'll be nice to have a bit of a community gathering.
And it's a mixture of talks, right? And not all of them are in.
Yeah, so there's a business track and a technical track, and actually the business track looks really good too. There's a lot of great case studies and things that they're going to be sharing.
Yeah, so if anyone misses the real life in real life events and can travel to Aarhus in Denmark, tickets are on sale. Still, there are tickets available, and everyone can secure their spot and visit Aarhus in November to learn, explore, and inspire again. So yeah, that's November 11th. But the end of November is Umbraco Together time. And the speakers' call for proposals are open till the end of October. That's correct.
Yeah, till the end of October, but get them in early because we're gonna review them as we go as well. So the absolute last point we'll let you know you're speaking is 5th of November, basically 3.5 weeks before. But just get your ideas in, and they don't have to be fully fleshed out either. Maybe more than one sentence. We've had a few that were just like, I would like to talk about X. Probably not going to work, but just put an idea down, and we'll work with you to flesh it out and make it work. And again, don't worry about it being like polished or anything. Like it's absolutely fine. It's a community event after all.
Nice. Yeah, I still have it on to-do list to submit some sessions here. So let's do it all together if we have something interesting to share. And I know you've been extremely helpful for speakers on various events before. So I can just second to that and let everyone be confident enough to submit some ideas and then explore these ideas together if they will be beneficial for the agenda of the events, of course.
Yeah.
But something else you are counting down to.
Well, the countdown stopped.
It's already alive. Yeah.
You can buy tickets. Yeah. So the tickets went live at 12 o'clock today. You can see for the first time a sneak peek at the identity. The website's coming very, very soon as well. You can buy tickets for all 4 venues right now. You can. You've got the addresses for each one as well there, so you can decide which one fits you best. I would just strongly encourage people, please go to your local event wherever possible. The whole idea of this is to stop people from having to travel around the UK, potentially spreading nasty diseases as well. So book your local event. You're not going to miss out by going to your local one. They're going to each be as good as possible. I know that previously the UK Fest has been London-centric, but that's absolutely not the case this year. We're trying to do kind of 4 unique events in each city. So go buy your tickets now. There's limited tickets, but
yeah, that's what I wanted to. That's what I was curious about, because I believe that you are limited in space as well. So and the restrictions.
The numbers here are our absolute maximums, even within the reduced capacity that we've agreed. So if we don't sell all of those tickets, that's absolutely not a problem either. Like we're anticipating to have less than those numbers, and even then that would put the venues, I think, at 70% capacity if we sold out completely. So there's going to be a lot of space, and that's the whole point. We've shared before the kind of COVID policy as well. We're gonna ensure that people are as safe as possible.
Yeah. So Friday, November 26th, tickets are already on sale. Secure your spot if you're interested in. And again, it's another great opportunity to join the community events in real life again. So yeah, amazing. Looking forward to some more details about it. And that's events section. Of course, there is some more events aligned in time, but they are further in time, so we'll probably mention them on the next weeks.
I know the Dutch Festival's got their call for papers open. It was supposed to close today. I think it's now closing in a week's time. get your submissions
Yes.
in. Hank has been badgering me to get mine in, and I've left quite late. So just get your ideas submitted. Again, Dutch Festival is always a fantastic event. So
yeah, I submitted mine. I gave the example on the Twitter. But yeah, if submissions are extended, there's still a chance for everyone who overslept and have something interesting to share. One more call to action to that to that then, because also 24 days in team reminded about them this week kindly that of course the team is still looking for some submissions for the articles as well for this year's upcoming advent calendar in December. And there was also a tweet sent by Arnold, probably encouraging people again to bundling the submissions. For example, if you're already writing a summary of your idea for, let's say, a talk on the festival, maybe copy it over to 24 days in, or the other way around. If you have something interesting to share there, maybe one of the festivals or events can benefit from this knowledge.
I mean, fantastically well timed. So the Umbraco together is on the 26th, of course, 5 days before 24 days start. So it's a good way of kind of, pushing a topic and having an article come out a few days later about it. Equally, Duke Fest is on the 20th or 21st of December, sorry. And so it's kind of towards the end of 24 days. So it's a great way of maybe doing a talk about an article that you've had released.
Yeah, and again, time optimization. If you will do it once, you can reuse your content and save some time later. That's how we roll. So yeah, submit your ideas and help the 24 days team be busy in reviewing them and cutting off some of the ideas there. But blogs to mention this week. Aaron shared a blog about how to create an RSS and atom feeds in Umbraco v9. Some really good, useful implementations ready to be copied over if we want to do something similar in our implementations. And there was one more information from umbraCoffee Suite, which we want to highlight, because I wasn't aware of that umbraCoffee Suite is tracking also the performance of Umbraco Forms and general views, submissions, conversions, errors, and abandons around the specific Umbraco Forms. Wow. What will definitely satisfy some data-driven teams and marketing-oriented implementations of Umbraco.
Every time I learn more about umbraCoffee Suite, the more impressed I am about it. Like they've thought of everything, haven't they? It's really, really well done.
Yeah, so kudos here to umbraCoffee Suite, and yeah, if you wasn't aware of that, same as we weren't, be sure that this can do more than we even know. So yeah, amazing work here, and contribution opportunity. Corne, who is with us here on the chat, shared a pretty good question and probably is looking for some ideas on the future content for his blog. So we can all contribute and help, and I did already. So what we want to learn about changes between Umbraco v9 and v8, and from my perspective, I'm really curious what and how we can transfer to new identity implementations there, how we can extend the identity and Umbraco membership and user base there. So things like that are very interesting for me. Callum, what you would like to learn more? Do you have some gaps?
Membership's definitely a big one. We've recently done a big .NET, like a V8 project, but heavy membership and using identity, like proper identity. And it's been really eye-opening about some of the limitations with the ways that working with membership, like Umbraco's old membership, has been. So yeah, identity, all the things for v9. I'd love to see a bit more about that. I know that Corner's of course done the Blazor server-side stuff, which I do think is quite cool. I'd love to see some examples of maybe Umbraco 9 running elsewhere. Like, I don't know, maybe as a Azure function or in a console app or something. That would be cool.
I'm also curious, for example, of detaching Umbraco 9 from I don't know, service usage. So some more headless approaches with Umbraco 9, things like that, and maybe integrating with some external systems using interceptors or core platform features. And that's something what would be really cool. But yeah, I will definitely think more. You can also submit your ideas, and if you want to just find Corne on Twitter, reply, and expect some more content coming from him on his blog. So do it. And last item on my list, last tweet which I collected, and something what was shared on Umbraco community Slack today. It's about something what Microsoft is working on, because maybe you are not all aware that Microsoft runs the full week of hacking for various projects, so they cut off from doing work on their normal projects. I saw some tweets from Ella and from other Microsoft employees that they are exploring really various paths outside of their normal job, and one of these explorations drove to controlling pipelines in Azure DevOps with a C# code. That's something what will probably satisfy all of the people who hate YAML. I personally love YAML. I'm a fan. I don't feel
it's fine when it works, and you don't need to like, you don't need
that's true.
Anything. You go, I've not indented that one thing, and it totally changes the meaning of the word. It's fine.
Yeah. Indenting driven development.
Yeah.
But here, of course, it's again just a wrapper on top of the engines behind the scenes, but a really nice fluent API kind of wrapper to control it with the code. And if that's something what can be brought to Azure DevOps, I think all of the people who so far just I don't know, complained about YAML and its complexity or problems, right now will have less reasons to complain.
Yeah, I know Matt's been a big fan of the Nuke build system, which is an alternative build system for .NET, and it's all configured in C#, which is really cool. So I'm sure there'll be some fans in the Umbraco community of this, and there's definitely a case that makes sense. But I guess as well, you could, in theory, then unit test your build pipeline.
Yeah, or condition your pipeline with some if statements or stuff like that. That's interesting. But yeah, more hacking probably to be found after this month. A lot of people are exploring, building, and trying to combine Hacktoberfest and this opportunity with some new stuff to be released. Let's all motivate ourselves to share some more findings and explorations, and we'll definitely highlight them in the upcoming umbraCoffee episodes, because that was all what we prepared for this week. And the final message and final call is our YouTuber entry. So Callum, what is the counter?
Oh, I don't know. Hang on.
681 was the last time when I checked. So.
Maybe. I think 681. We've fallen a bit behind this past week. We've been pretty good at about 5 each week. We fell behind. So this week we need 10. Meaning next week, we've got 19 to go. We really want to hit the
700.
We want to hit,
It will be our birthday present from the community. So yeah, check if you are not subscribing our channel, and if you are not subscribing, just click this magical button, very much liked by YouTubers, and help us reach more people. So you can help by sharing this material, link to this material to the channel with anyone possibly interested with it, and we'll of course thank you for that, because we want to reach more people and bring more interesting content to you. And yeah, that's all. And as usual, we'll of course see each other on the next Friday.
Yeah, like, subscribe. See you next week.
Thanks.